The bus doors hissed open, spilling me into the harsh El Salvadoran sun. Hands clamped on my arms, the rough fabric of the cuffs biting into my wrists. A nightstick pressed against my neck, a silent command to bow. This wasn't a transfer. This was a transformation. I was no longer a person, but a number, a beast to be herded. Siko, the terrorism confinement center. 40,000 souls crushed into this concrete tomb. The air hung thick with sweat, fear, and the metallic tang of blood. My cell, a metal box barely larger than a coffin, already held over 100 men. The air was suffocating, a miasma of stale breath and despair. 2 toilets for 100 men. The lights blazed relentlessly, a constant, mocking reminder of the absence of sleep. My bed, a bare metal frame, cold and unforgiving. I shivered, not from the heat, but from the primal fear clawing at my insides. A fight erupted. 2 men, shadows in the dim light, wrestled over a scrap of food, their guttural shouts swallowed by the cacophony of the cell. A guard, his face impassive, casually tossed a nightstick into the fray. The fight stopped abruptly. Silence descended, punctuated only by the rhythmic clang of metal against metal. The constant surveillance, the lack of privacy, the ever-present threat of violence. It wasn't just the physical conditions, it was the psychological warfare, the crushing weight of despair, the erosion of hope. Days bled into nights, indistinguishable except by the shifting shadows and the growing emptiness in my stomach. The guards were ghosts, their faces hidden behind impassive visors, their actions brutal and swift. Even solitary confinement wasn't a refuge. Pitch black darkness, a suffocating silence broken only by the frantic rhythm of my own heartbeat. Time ceased to exist. There was only the endless void, the gnawing loneliness, and the chilling certainty that I was slowly being erased. The whispers started during the day, then transitioned into guttural screams at night. Every day, the screams increased in volume and intensity. The screams were everywhere. I was losing my mind. I saw things that weren't there, heard voices that weren't real. The only solace I could find was in the small moments of kindness shown by some of my fellow inmates. A shared piece of bread, a word of encouragement. These small acts of human connection, however fleeting, were the only things keeping me from complete surrender. The thought of escaping was a fantasy. The walls were high, the guards were vigilant, and my body was broken. I was a prisoner, not just of Sikot, but of my own fear. This was not a prison. It was a living hell. I didn't survive a day. I barely survived an hour. I don't know how long I lasted, but I know I will never forget the horrors I witnessed. The screams still echo in my ears, a constant reminder of the inhumanity I experienced within those walls.